after months and months of speculation, we finally have official information on the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Special Edition, and I think you guys are going to be very, very excited to see what they have going on with this device. Maybe so excited, it's going to bum you out that you're probably not going to be able to easily buy this thing. As usual, I have posted a nice little write-up on this on my Threads account. You can usually catch this stuff early. It's where I like to post things and kind of organize things. We're going to look at images via that website. So, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Special Edition has been officially announced, and this is what it looks like, and there are quite a few things that we need to actually address with this device, which is the thinnest foldable that Samsung has ever created. You can tell by this image just how radically thin this device is. I have the numbers right here. When it is closed, folded, it is 10.6 millimeters. When you open the thing up, it's only going to be 4.9 millimeters, which is exceptionally thin. For reference, the Pixel 9 Pro Fold is 10.5 millimeters when closed, so it's going to be indistinguishable from this for the most part, and then it is 5.1 millimeters when open. So again, very, very similar, but it is thinner in this regard. So that's very impressive. They have gotten right there where Google is. But one big advantage, it's only 236 grams. So it's actually 3 grams lighter than the standard Z Fold 6, despite the fact that it has larger screens and improved cameras. And of course, it's still quite a bit lighter than the Pixel. Talking about those screens, so we do have an 8-inch dynamic AMOLED screen. It does have that sort of squared off look that we're used to now on the Z Fold 6, which is fine. 20:18 aspect ratio, but then we also have a 6.5-inch display for the cover display. And if you look at this, do you see what I see? If I actually grab my Z Fold 6, maybe it's a subtle difference. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But yes, that screen is wider than the current Z Fold 6. It does have a 21:9 aspect ratio. And while that's not quite the, normal typical screen aspect ratio of the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, it is definitely wider than what we have on the Z Fold 6, which is 22:1.9. That is more narrow than this special edition. And I actually think that that's probably going to be arriving very close to a happy medium for a lot of people. I know that there are quite a few of you who still kind of like this skinnier remote control style device because it's easier to one-hand it. Just like my wife said in her review of the Z Fold 6, it can be a little bit difficult to type on it. We're getting wider, but we're still skinnier than a normal phone. So I think that might be, like I said, a good happy medium. And I just thought about this as well. If that cover display is wider, then that means that the inner display is wider as well. 20:18 aspect ratio. So Googling around this device, the current Z Fold 6 is 20.9:18 versus this being a 20:18. So not a huge difference. But I think if we actually open this device up and we look at that image, maybe you can tell a little bit. Is it ever so slightly wider? I think that it should be. Let's talk about that camera setup. Obviously, it does look a little bit different just in terms of the housing. Let me give you just the basic short version of this. Everything is staying the same, except for the sensor that you use the most. The primary sensor, we're swapping out the 50 megapixel sensor we've been using for a little while for the 200 megapixel sensor, which should be the same one that we've been seeing in the S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra. So obviously this is a better sensor. It is much higher resolution, and if you use pixel binning, you should now get results that look less like a Z Fold and more like an S24 Ultra. Of course, the other sensors I think still do lag behind. The ultra wide is still going to be the same 12 megapixel sensor that we've had. The telephoto is the same 10 megapixel 3x optical, and I think that's something that they're going to have to address. OnePlus and Google both have far superior zoom capabilities on their devices with a 5x optical zoom here. Of course, OnePlus is a 3x optical as well, but it is a much better sensor with higher resolution that allows them to do 6x and still be pretty much lossless. So again, they're a little bit behind when it comes to their zoom capabilities. The selfie cameras are going to remain the same. In terms of other hardware, we are getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, so that is a top-of-the-line chip, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of ROM, and they are saying, just like with the Z Fold 6, 7 years of OS updates. As I correct a typo there, we do have the same 4,400 milliamp hour battery, which I'm kind of curious how well that's going to work. Battery life was quite solid here, but we are dealing with larger screens. I would also love to know, and I didn't see this, maybe it's going to sort of trickle out. As soon as I post this video, I'll probably see the information. Maybe I'll do a pinned comment if I see it. What kind of brightness are we looking at? Because these screens are quite bright and they look really, really good. Hopefully, not only are the special edition screens larger, hopefully they're also very, very bright. But the downside to all this is that so far, all we know is that it's going to launch in South Korea, just like we expected, and then it will later arrive in China as the Samsung Galaxy W25. Those of you who have been watching this channel for a while will know that I told you that months ago. That is what you should be expecting, and I doubt that it's going to leave those regions and be released elsewhere, which is a bummer because this is probably going to be Samsung's best foldable, at least until next year with the Z Fold 6. One thing that I've looked around at all of the reports I've seen and I can't find an answer, maybe that will be a pinned comment thing as well. What's the S Pen situation? We heard rumors that maybe it would be a different kind of like capacitive pin, something, another technology, no actual like digitizer. I don't know. We have not really seen that information just yet, so not sure on that one. Jumping over here to Sam Mobile for pricing, we're looking at something that translates to roughly $2,000. So this thing is going to run a little bit more expensive, which isn't super shocking. And it is only going to come in this one black shadow color. But guys, that's it. That is the Z Fold 6 Special Edition. No more rumors, no more speculating. It's here. It has been announced, and I want to hear from you. What do you think about this thing in the comments down below? If it were available here in North America for, say, $19.99, would you make that upgrade and purchase this phone? Let me know in those comments down below. So thanks for watching. Subscribe for more content just like this, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.